And we are live. Hey, everybody, can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? How are we doing? Welcome to the festivities tonight. The Seattle Seahawks played a game today, and we got to talk about it. So, this stream is going to be for that mostly, but obviously we'll delve into other topics. I know you guys want to talk about the Broncos game. I know you guys might want to talk about this Sunday night game that is currently ongoing between the Chiefs and the Bucks. Pretty good game. Now, theoretically. So, anyway, the Seattle Seahawks, they played this morning. I know it was several hours ago, but they won 48 to 45. That is not a typo. That is not a college score. 48-45 Seahawks. The offense basically played perfect. Jeffrey A. Thistle, welcome to the membership club. Welcome to Elite Channel membership. Jeffrey, welcome aboard. Yaha. Anyway, offense was basically perfect. I think that every single drive we had ended in points except for the drive where we missed a field goal. So there's nothing to talk about on this offense other than good things. Metcalf went off. Lockett had a big game. Rashad Penny went off. The offensive line, especially the tackles, played really well against not a very good defense, but as I've said, I don't really think that matters here. Geno was almost perfect, and you got to say, this was beyond the best case scenario for Geno. This is better than I think a vast majority of people thought Geno was capable of. Even the people who like Geno a lot didn't think he was going to be able to play this good, where legitimately you could have called him Peyton Manning today. I thought the play calling was good. We ran the ball to the outside a lot, especially later in the game with great success. Rashad Penny busted off some big runs on carries that were not just running up the gut. Very happy we got away from that a little bit. And even Ken Walker, who did not have good stats, I thought he played fine today. I wasn't concerned about his lack of relative production. I was happy he got out there, got the ball in his hands a few times, and was able to make some hay with it. The tight ends were productive and effective. They did their job wholeheartedly. So, yeah, right now, there's not a single thing about this offense that isn't just humming. All the way down to the third string tight end. And I mean that literally, because literally Colby Parkinson is catching passes in every game. Defense, as good as the offense was, the defense was probably about that bad. I thought Mafe played well. I thought Woolen obviously played well. He had the pick six, and he didn't do anything over the top that made me dislike the game that he was playing. He obviously made some mistakes and gave up some stuff, but that is what it is. I think that who else? Who else do I want to shout out? I thought Monet had a couple of nice plays on the defensive line, but he's still not playing all that much. Kobe Bryant forced a fumble, which was, pretty cool. But yeah, not a good day for the defense at all. This game was meant to go to garbage time. This game was destined for garbage time. And we didn't let it get there because the defense couldn't come up with that one extra stop. So, I don't know where we go from here because this was the worst offense we're going to play this year. And it's probably not close with all the injuries they had. And I believe that this is beyond just a Pete Carroll thing or a Pete Carroll scheme thing. I'm starting to wonder, and I don't want to give up on it now because we're only 4 games in, and I don't want to go back to what we were before because what we were before wasn't good enough. But Sean Desai and Clint Hurd are not having a positive effect on this team at all right now. They were never this bad when Pete was calling the shots with Norton, with Quinn, with Richard, whoever. It was never this bad. Cody Barton, Josh Jones in particular, played awful, awful, awful games. Some of the worst games you'll ever see a linebacker and safety play. There were Taylor was relatively invisible, although I will say he is getting chipped pretty reliably on passing plays, so other teams still respect his ability to get to the quarterback. So there is that going on there, but he's Still, by and large, invisible out there. And I mean, I think our corners played a little bit better today, but still giving up so much. Like Sidney Jones went in there, and I didn't see much positive from him either. So definitely some stuff to work on there. Special teams were not very good today. We had the fumble on the punt return. Lockett should not be out there returning punts, by the way. That's silly that we're still dealing with that in year of our Lord 2022. We had the give up on the fake punt, which that should have been OPI, so I'm not really upset about that one. And also, we did finally have a bad snap on a field goal, but that was going to happen eventually. When you bring in a new long snapper, it's inevitable. At least it happened in a game where it didn't cost us the game. So, with that being said, I'm going to start opening it up to the chat. Real quick here, we are going to go until roughly the end of Sunday Night Football. So, excuse me. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we're going to go until roughly the end of Sunday Night Football. We're going to talk about this game. We're going to talk about other football stuff. We do have a subscriber goal for September over to my left, and it's now October, so I need to roll that over actually, but I'll do that later. We're almost to 10,000, so if you're new and you haven't subbed yet, please do so. If you like the content and want daily Seahawks content. Become a channel member. We need 2 more to get back to 100, which obviously is a nice goal. And yeah, we also have donation goals, super chats, and tips. If you want to tip, click the link in the description or do !tip. And like the stream as well. That's the easiest and most direct way to help support the stream. So, okay, let's start taking a look at these comments. I see some people asking about Geno being a long-term solution at quarterback. Just to address that real quick. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Geno's going to want some serious money next year if he continues to play like this. Any competent quarterback that can get paid will get paid. Like, Geno's going to be looking for real money here. He's going to be significantly more expensive than any rookie quarterback, even one you take in the first round or the number 1 overall pick. Geno is going to be wanting, based off his play so far, probably I would expect $20 million a year. So what's the point? I don't see the value there. The goal is to try to get a quarterback who is either the best in the league or get the quarterback who is super cheap and going to be good enough to win with. I don't like that middle ground. 283128, thank you for the $1.99. Our 3 tight end set is basically unstoppable. It seems like good things happen when we go to it, and it kind of makes sense why, right? Most teams don't run 3 tight end sets, so when defenses see it, they probably go like, whoa, what is this? I don't know what to think of this. And we have 3 tight ends that bring something to the table here. These guys are all pretty good. I mean, Colby, I don't know if I want to call him special or anything, but he's an mismatch. He's difficult to deal with on defense because of his size. Let's see here. Do you think Brooks is as overrated as I do? I thought he was at least going to be a good player after last year, but so far I don't see much of anything. I'm disappointed because Brooks was a guy who I hated when we drafted. I mean, I hated that pick. But then he came around and started playing really good football, and I was like, okay, at least he's a good player. At least he's good. But right now, he doesn't look that good. But that being said, there's a lot wrong with this defense that has nothing to do with Brooks, that is probably putting Brooks in bad situations and making him look worse than he is. Jeffrey, watching Russ fail after our win was the best. Yeah, and I mean, I rooted for Russ for 10 years. But it's very weird to me to see all these Russell people come out and act like he's the greatest quarterback ever because he had a game where his team scored 23 points. It's really weird to me. Like, they're acting like he just lit the world on fire in a game where he had 260 total yards. That's how things are going with him right now. The standard is so low that the Russell Wilson people flip out because he had a decent game against a defense, by the way, that is probably not very good. So that's how the season's going for them, and we might talk a little bit more about that later. Because if Javonte Williams is out, because apparently he's got a serious injury, I don't know what they do. Because Melvin Gordon has developed a huge fumbling problem and isn't very productive, and they don't have anybody else. So it's basically just like the Seahawks, the years where Carson and Penny got hurt and we had no running backs. It's the exact same thing, except he's wearing orange instead of blue. Tony, the play calling is definitely a lot better. Yeah, he's finding himself a little bit here. And better defenses are going to make it harder, but it's fine. That just kind of is what it is. The play calling is working right now. Gino is doing a phenomenal job keeping things very simple. Whoa, Cameron Brake just got killed by his own dude. Wow. Took 4 weeks of public rush shaming for him to run the ball for one drive. Yeah, I noticed that. Every now and then he busts out his old gear. Ghost, thank you for the $1.99. Javonte Williams has a serious knee injury. Do we know it's serious yet? Are we sure it's serious? I heard he was on crutches, but we don't know if he's going to miss a few games or the season or what, right? We haven't heard that. Austin, thank you for the member message. Gino has played well so far. He has surprised me. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be this good. I know that. Tony, I still want to see Eskridge get more sweeps. He did finally have one today. I just want to see sweeps, period. I want it with Eskridge, but I want it with anyone else, too, who cares to run it. I don't care who. Just do it. Like, it feels like Eskridge is in the doghouse. You know what I mean? Eskridge is just in the doghouse. They're not even letting him return punts when Lockett's out there fumbling. So the coaches must see something they really, really don't like with him. Mass Temple, after day, we have to bring in Tart or Collins or Blair. I agree. Josh Jones, there's no upside. We got a look at him for extended periods. He had an opportunity to prove he could do something, and no, just nothing. Tony, I don't know why Goodwin is wide receiver 3 because we think he's the third best receiver on the team. We're not terribly interested in forcing somebody out there just because they were a high draft pick. We're just trying to play who we think is the best. Ghost, thank you for the $1.99. What's the solution to Cody Barton? Um, Maybe you put Tanner Muse out there. That's kind of it. Like, nothing else has any real upside. I saw Gino yelling at Eskridge. I don't think he knows the plays. Yeah, that's something I've kind of suspected for a while anyway. Big Patty Daddy, thank you for the $4.99. Brendan, who do we replace Cody Barton with? My 1-year-old daughter can shove someone out of bounds. No, seriously, though, he won't start again, right? Look, the options there are not good. The options there are not good. I would say you throw Tanner Muse out there, or you go get somebody with a little bit of veteran competency to him. So if Gino keeps playing like this, does he play his way out of Seattle, or we try to re-sign him 1 year, $20 million? Why would he do a 1-year deal? He's going to have a career year. Wouldn't he want a long-term deal? This is probably going to be the best year of his career. People are asking about Ballore. Do you guys really want Ballore playing defensive linebacker? Like, how is that? Is that going to be better than Barton? There's no way. Quandre Diggs has fallen off the map. Yeah, I don't think he's doing anything wrong necessarily, Green Earth. I just think he's probably suffering some of the consequences of everyone in front of him being so bad. Uh, Ghost, what do you think about Sidney Jones? He looked almost lost on a lot of plays getting beat in coverage. Um, I think that he hasn't played hardly at all this year, so I'm not going to really judge him right now. I know he's good. I know he can play well. And this is also a new defense to him. There is some leeway there, but we're kind of jerking him around right now, so I'm not really judging him. I was upset last week because I didn't think Gino could play that well again, but this defense is still garbage. Yeah, it is. It is. Tony, Diggs is in the middle of a really bad defense. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I know Diggs is good. Diggs proved he was good the last 2.5 years. Okay, when he suddenly starts playing bad, I'm going to blame other people for a little while at least. 2 years, 40 million, 20 million guaranteed could be a good extension. Use the high picks to shore up on the defense. I don't like it. I don't like it. There's a model we're trying to follow here, and giving a quarterback like a Geno Smith a bunch of money is not the model. I don't think that leads to a championship. I don't see how that works. That means you've got a decent but relatively expensive quarterback as you're bringing in all these young players, these out of these really good draft classes. Big Patty Daddy, how do I become a member on the channel? I can't. Hold on. I'm going to try to post the link here. Ava, welcome. Okay, Nightbot just posted the link to become a member. Try clicking on it. If we and the Broncos have top 15 picks, therefore we have two top 15 first rounders this season, how would you feel about using both on defense? I'm not against it. It depends on who's there. That's what I'm going to keep saying about this stuff, guys. Yeah, that's the thing you guys need to keep in mind. We don't know who's going to be there. Until we know who's going to be there, it's really hard to judge. Okay, I don't want to commit to saying we have to use our picks on this or we have to use our picks on that. That's how you end up with LJ Collier. That's literally what we did to end up with LJ Collier. Addison Shelby wasn't one of the reasons we did the Russ trade was because we didn't really want to shell out big bucks for a QB, so why would we pay Geno a big contract? That's kind of what I'm saying, and it would be a lot less than Wilson, but if you're going to pay monster dollars for a quarterback, it should be like the best quarterback in the league, or else just go get somebody in the draft. I know Geno's playing well right now, and I know we're all really happy about that, but come on, guys. Let's not get too. Let's not go too far with it. Big Patty Daddy, thank you for the member join. Welcome to the club. Big Patty Daddy, you are now a member. We are up to 99. Quick thoughts on Tariq's development. Is it crazy to think he makes Pro Bowl this year? Well, Pro Bowl is a popularity contest, and most people who watch football don't know who he is, so I don't think he would make it. But in terms of his level of play, he's up there. He's not that far off. He is giving up some stuff, but that's to be expected. It's now becoming believable that by the end of the year, he could be on that Richard Sherman track. Okay, so let Geno walk and run with Drew Lock after 1 year in our system plus a rookie quarterback. Let the rookie plus Lock compete for starter next year. Something like that. Something like that. Like, Brady's going to retire after this year. What if Tampa Bay offers Geno a bunch of money? Like, that could happen, right? Like, that could really happen. That is a realistic possibility. Is Tariq going to be a top 10 corner by the end of the year? He might be better than Jalen Ramsey by the end of the year. Jalen Ramsey's not playing well lately, but I don't know. Ghost, do we get a comp pick if Geno leaves? If he leaves and he gets signed to a significant contract, then yes. Big Patty Dad, do you think Russell's hand actually healed properly, or is he just old slash ass now? Um, I'm not interested in using his hand thing as an excuse. I didn't do that when he was here, and I'm sure as shit not going to do it with him not here. But I think he's is what he is. He is what he was the last year and a half he was here, and now he's still that. OD Death Metal, franchise tag Gino, not sold on Levis. Stroud is the guy. We'll see how things go, but right now Levis is not a guy I'd trade up for. If he's there when we select, fine. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you shouldn't trade up for any quarterback because there's so many good quarterbacks here. But it's not just Levis, guys. It's Levis, it's Stroud, it's Hooker, it's God, who's KJ Jefferson. It's honestly Tyler Van Dyke. It's Marcus Penix. It's Grayson McCall. It's Keaton Slovis. So the list goes on and on and on. Okay, just because one quarterback isn't the guy doesn't mean there isn't another guy out there he might like as well. DJ, yeah, DJ Ugu. Oh my God, what a catch! I think that's Mike Evans. 283128. Welcome to basic membership. Welcome to the club. That is 100 even now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ghost, thank you for the $1.99. Pete should give up on challenging, to be honest. Yeah. I think he gets mad and starts challenging stuff because we got screwed on the fake punt, but he couldn't challenge that. So he challenged something that obviously was never going to work. And it's just like, okay, dude, we know you're mad, but do not. Brandon, I want to see Kenneth Walker break out so bad. I think he will. He's playing well. There's just some things working against him. Like he had that good carry today, and then it got called back because Marquise Goodwin's a dumbass. Nah, I mean, he's not a dumbass, but he had a dumb play. Jarhead, do you think the team needs to incorporate Walker on more carries or try to squeeze as much production out of Penny as possible? I think you can kind of do both. Get a bunch of production out of Penny, boost his value, but slowly start working Walker in. Slowly start working him in. Let's see here. Goodbye, Russ emojis. Yeah, I still got to flush those things. I'll probably do it tonight. Most of my followers hate him now anyway, honestly. Like most of my subs genuinely dislike the guy. Daniel, I'm going to miss Penny when he leaves next year. Reminds me so much of Sean Alexander. Yeah, I like Penny too. And it's too bad we couldn't accomplish anything with him in terms of actual team success. But I don't think paying a running back a bunch of money, which he's probably going to command, is a winning strategy. King Boo, is it safe to say let Gino cook now? I mean, kind of. It just seems to me that you can trust Gino with much more high volume than you could Russ. Because Russ is going to start doing dumb stuff if you give him high enough volume. And Gino is just taking the easy, short, quick stuff that Russ just could never really commit to. I really hope Waldron will bounce Penny to the outside more. We saw more of that as the game went on. And I think both of his touchdown runs were on, maybe not outside zone, but they were certainly on outside plays. If this is our style of play, do you think the Walker Penny combo has enough value to pay Penny? No. No. I don't think so. I don't like it. Voodoo Magic, a couple good games for Gino. And now we're talking about extensions and worrying about other teams outbidding us for Gino. It was Detroit. Let's see after 10 more games to even see if this isn't a fluke. I agree with that too. People were talking about this stuff after the Denver game, and then Gino didn't score a point against San Fran, and people stopped. So, the Saints defense, theoretically, although it's not really playing well right now, is pretty good. What if Gino plays bad or doesn't produce against the Saints? These conversations are over. Drop top. Look, if Waldron is doing this with Geno, imagine what he could do with a great QB. That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, Geno is also, by the way, realistically, he's going to be inconsistent. There are going to be some games where he's just bad. So if you get a guy like CJ Stroud or Will Levis in here, who's probably going to be much better than Geno Smith, then you're going to have more consistency. You're going to have a guy who's good almost every game. Jeffrey, I don't hate Rust. I just enjoy seeing him lose. Well, I mean, look, it's business, isn't it? It's not personal. It's not personal with Russ for me. It's not going to ever be, but it's business, right? Like this is going to help our team, okay? Look, I mean, and honestly, if Javonte Williams is out for the year, if Javonte Williams is out for the year, then I think they're done. I think you can stick a fork in them because then basically you've got the exact same situation he had when he was in Seattle and our starting running back was rookie Travis Homer, like before the steroids. GRS, where is the evidence Levis is better than Geno? What are you talking about, dude? Do you watch football? Like, have you ever watched a game of football in your life? Do you not see his arm talent? Do you not see his ability to fit the ball into extremely tight windows that Geno just can't quite do? Sorry, guys, my microphone has been doing that lately. Is it better now? Can you guys hear me? I really feel like it's the hardware or it's the software, but it could be hardware. Okay, but anyway, where's your evidence that Penny won't be back? The fact that he's a free agent and we're gonna have to pay him a lot of money, and we just drafted Ken Walker, and last time we tried to pay a running back, it went really badly. And honestly, every time we try to pay a running back, it kind of goes badly unless it's Marshawn Lynch. Can we give Shane Waldron some credit? I like his game plans, even that Wildcat running back thing we did that failed. I like this guy. Can't wait to see what he does with the young quarterback. He is creative. Yeah, I've always kind of liked Waldron. And things are going pretty well right now, so what are you going to say? Henry Zoo, what do you think is going on with Daryl Taylor? I think he just plays a little too wild. Plays with his hair on fire. Big Patty Daddy, Brendan, do you think Norbcam is cringe? Do you guys have a relationship at all? I mean, I've met him a couple times. I've hung out with him a couple times, but I don't think he even knows I have a YouTube channel and I don't watch his videos, so it is what it is. Daryl Taylor lacks the brute force to play edge, but he can beat guys and make a move and get there. Yeah, some accuracy to that, for sure. Tony, is Disley worth a huge contract? Everyone was mad when he got it. He's being utilized a lot. He's being utilized enough to where it can't be that bad. Like if he is overpaid, it's only by a little bit, and who cares? Life goes on. It's not the ridiculous overpay that I thought it was when we did it. It might be a slight overpay, but oh well. That's what it took to keep him. At the end of the day, you're worth what someone is willing to pay you. That's what I always say. If somebody says you're worth $24 million dollars and is willing to give you $24 million dollars, then it doesn't matter what anyone else says. That's what you're worth. Big Patty Daddy, well, I want you to know, let you know your channel's top notch. Thank you, Big Patty Daddy. I try. Norbcam's not really my thing, but I don't, I don't have any problem with it. It's just not really for me. It's not to my taste. Ghost, I don't know how this defense will make a turnaround. We're playing against some tougher offenses down the later stretch. That's what I'm saying, Ghost. That's what I'm saying. How does this get easier? It gets harder. Obviously, the Jamal Adams loss was huge, and I really wish we had him. I think that if we had Jamal Adams right now, life would be a lot better, but we don't. And I don't think that alone excuses this defense being the worst in the league. Oh yeah, so some people are asking me to ask the DK crap thing. Okay. So my understanding is that DK was going to crap his pants because he was not going to be able to get to the bathroom fast enough. So he used the cart to get there faster. And I have been there before. So whatever. It is what it is. It's funny now, okay? Jeffrey A. Thistle, thank you for the $5. Every time I see Lockett back to return kicks, I cringe. That's our number 2 wide receiver you're risking out there. Also, why does anyone return kicks anymore? I kind of agree. Just fair catch everything. Just let everything bounce. Touchback. Why doesn't the NFL get rid of kicks? I don't understand that part of it. Um that is something that I'm hoping gets resolved. If it's not Eskridge, then it needs to be somebody else. Like, I understand if the logic is we're going to use Lockett because we trust him to not fumble, then you have to throw that out now because he fumbled. He fumbled. EK can run faster than the cart. Well, apparently, David, according to what I saw from Metcalf on Twitter, he couldn't run because he needed a crap. Like, um, as in he couldn't run because of the you guys know what I'm saying here? Do I have to go on further? They should have someone that can receive kick. Um, I was hoping it would be Bo Melton, but maybe he can't do it either. I'd like to see Derek Young return kicks. I don't know if he's done that before. Has he? I forget. It doesn't seem like it would be his game, but it could be. Okay, but there's another possible explanation here, by the way. And since people keep asking about it, I guess I'll keep going. What if he had already crapped his pants, but he didn't want people to know, so he got the cart to take him, like what Paul Pierce did? That's another theory, and if that's what happened, he's not going to talk about it because that's really embarrassing. But anyway, Keely Ringo with our pick. I don't know much about Keely Ringo yet, Bob Stone. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm out on Jalen Carter. He was throwing up gang signs trying to punk the opposing team in pregame. Well, Daniel, he's a kid. I mean, he's really young. If I was a complete degenerate, I would be old enough to be his dad. So people, change. People mature up. Noah Sewell, I was watching Sewell last night, and that dude is big. I didn't know how big he was. He looks like a defensive lineman. Avery Alred, Barton, and Josh Jones should not be in the NFL. Yeah, they're not good. And I wanted to see what they could do this year, but I've seen enough. They're really, 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 really bad. If theoretically we beat the Saints, I believe we could snag a seventh seed spot in the playoffs. Give me your opinion on this. Um, I mean, it's possible, but with how bad this defense is, even if it happens, what good is it? We literally, this game went down to the wire. and we didn't punt once. That's what it took for us to win a game. Let's more than making the playoffs, I want to see the team actually start playing good defense. Dino Jandrick, hey Brendan, do you think we're underestimating Noah Fant's blocking? I really didn't think about him as a blocker, and I still kind of don't, but maybe? I don't know. I I definitely view Disley as the blocker on this team. Keely Ringo, a Georgia cornerback, projected first or second round pick. He's from Seattle. We usually don't spend high picks on corners, so I seriously doubt it. Tuck tuck. Addison, our defense was awful today, but I'm just going to enjoy this one since we won at the end. Well, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. If you're not going to enjoy this, then you probably don't enjoy much of anything. The laughs in the Seahawks locker room and practice field will be harsh on DK. Well, DK's a veteran now. DK's maybe the best player on this team, or at least in the conversation. He's one of the highest paid players on the team. He's not some rookie that gets hazed, so I don't know. Enjoy Richard Sherman's podcast from Jeffrey. I have not really listened to it that much. I've listened to it some. It seems like he's pretty good at it, I'll say that. Marcus, Huskies only dropped to 21. Oh, nice. I thought we were going to drop out for sure. I'm actually surprised. That's good. Liam Breer, assuming Penny leaves, should we draft someone like Charbonnet to complement Walker? Charbonnet would be nice. There's probably a dozen running backs out there that we could get in like day 3 that are going to be adequate for what we're talking about here. Brendan, what letter grade would you give our pass defensive rush today? Like a D plus, maybe? Half hawk, half man? I would go like D plus. It wasn't as terrible as I was worried it was going to be, but it was certainly not good. We did get 1 sack, and we got some pressures. I can take a little bit from that. 283, is Homer an FA a free agent? Yes. This is his last year in Seattle on his current contract. Him getting hurt might actually keep his costs down, but I do believe Homer's a valuable player. I like him, and I believe he adds real value to this team. Jarhead, Trenton Simpson. Yeah, Jarhead. Trenton Simpson has been one of my favorite players since this season started. He could play linebacker or safety. He's that kind of dude. I honestly think that KJ would have been better than Barton. You can't get much worse. Oh, he would have been. Everybody's better than Barton. Barton did make that one big play against Denver that saved the game, but other than that, he's been complete garbage. So what else can you say? Of KJ Wright would have been better. Honestly, Red Bryant probably would have been better. Yeah, I hope the people who think Jamal Adams sucks watch these games and realize how important he is. I'm not saying the defense would be amazing, but it would be a heck of a lot better than this. At least we know Barton is bad for next season. Yeah, that's very valuable, Addison. That's very valuable, knowing that Barton is bad. Drop top, did Taylor get a pressure? I think he got a couple. I think he got a couple. Eugenio 4, do we know if Sean Desai is doing something? I think he's doing game planning during the week, and then Hurt does the play calling. That's my best guess. 283, did you see DK's comments on Okuda before the game? Yeah, I did, and he's probably right. Brady Ray, how did Mafe play? Mafe, I think, actually played really well, playing the run effectively. I liked what I saw from Mafe. Chef Vercase, whatever. Do you think Clint Hurt could be fired this offseason? It's possible. If the defense doesn't get better, I think you fire everyone on the defensive staff. Like, they are doing things differently than they did under Carroll. They are. So this isn't just Carroll. Carroll's the head coach and he's responsible for everything the team does, one way or the other, unfortunately. But this is different than what we've seen in previous seasons. So I'm thinking it has to be somehow involved with him. Hot take, kind of want to pay or tag Nwosu if he keeps it up. I don't think you're going to have to tag him, but I'm not against it necessarily. Addison, thoughts on the refs today? I thought they called an overall crappy game. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was not appreciative of the refs on many spots. Although I know the Lions are also extremely unhappy with the referees because there was that one sequence where they stopped us on 3rd and 16. We got a retry and we scored a touchdown. I know Lions fans are really, really mad about that. Didn't Nuoso get a sack today? Yes, he did. Egular, Jarhead. Who are some guys you're courting as a possible next head coach? Well, let's think about that for a second here, okay? A lot of the time, the guys who get super, super hyped up as the next head coach fall flat on their face, right? A lot of the time, the guys who get hyped up fall on their face as a head coach. They don't work out. Like the guys who get hyped up, Kellen Moore never even got the head coaching job, and I think he's probably not going to get one for a while now. But when you think about guys like the Eric Bieniemy types, the guys who get talked about as head coaches forever, Urban Meyer, like either they never get this head coach job or when they do, it goes badly. It seems to me that sometimes the best thing you can do is just go get a guy, like a guy in your program who you like, who you trust, like Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni is the only undefeated head coach in the league, right? Who the hell is Nick Sirianni? Who knew who Nick Sirianni was before he got hired as their head coach in Philly? Like maybe it's just better to make those more low key hires of guys who the layperson is not heard of. Like look at what's going on with Frank Reich. I loved Frank Reich. I thought that was a great hire, but he's not a very good head coach. He's completely over his head, and he was a phenomenal coordinator. Scott Chomitsky, thank you for the $5 through Venmo. Let's hear for Tariq Woolen, superstar in the making. I think we are on that path. I think we are on that path. I believe we are on the path of Tariq Woolen being the best possible version of himself. This Bucks defense is kind of a tragedy right now. Damn. 2-8-3, zero chance Broncos lose next week, right? I can't imagine them losing that game, especially if there's no Jonathan Taylor. But here's the thing. Their schedule gets hard at the end, and if they really did lose Javonte Williams for the year, I think you can kind of forget about it. Like, they're going to be lucky to win 7 games. They needed Javonte Williams very badly. Danny H. Holmgren was kind of a buzz beforehand. Well, the thing is, Holmgren had already proven to be an elite head coach before he got here. Holmgren was a proven commodity as an elite head coach. That's a little different than something like Eric Bieniemy type, who has a big name, but isn't proven at all as a head coach. How far has Gino exceeded your expectations? A pretty good amount. I didn't think he was. I thought he was going to be about as good as Teddy Bridgewater. He's been a little better than that. He's been more in that um, maybe even Kirk Cousins kind of range. Colts could win next week if that defense makes good plays. They could help out that offense. If the Broncos lose that game, they should just fire Hackett immediately. And I usually never say stuff like that when it comes to a guy like Hackett, who you knew was gonna be have a learning curve. But if the Broncos lose to the Colts, like what is even the point? You're playing at home on a short week after a rough loss to a terrible team. Did your stance change on the Saints game now we're in 4 games from Young Boy Goat? Yeah, I think so. A little bit at least. I still am not convinced we're going to win, but the Saints are not as good as I thought they would be at all. Go Mariners, Brendan. P.S. How do you feel about Gino having a better passer rating than Russ? Well, he's playing better than Russ right now. He is. Gino is playing significantly better than Russ. It's not even close. Like everyone's like jerking off Wilson because he had a good game today. Gino scored almost twice as many points as Russ did, and Gino actually won the game. Gino gave his punter the day off. Russ's punter is about to strike because he's tired of kicking every single drive. So yeah, there's nothing else to say. Now, we've got 13 games left, but I think that at this point, I don't see how anybody could be unhappy with the way the Wilson trade is playing out. Wilson looks like he's in a different phase of his career, and even if Gino isn't better than Russ, I'd rather pay Gino 7 million than Russ 300 million. Million times over. Michael, happy with the offense for sure. Lots of confusion on defense. Do you think it's because there are too many big voices in the room, or is it because our linebackers and safeties are bad? I I feel like it has to be Desai and Hurt because it was never this bad before, right? Like even with Ken Norton, it was never this bad. Like it was bad. It had bad games. It had bad moments, but it was bad in very specific ways. This is just incompetent in a way beyond. Like previous couple years, we didn't have a great defense, but we stopped the run. Now we can't even stop the run. So I feel like it's got to be Clinton Desai involved, but I don't know if that's like I don't know if you can look at that and go, okay, we need to blow these guys up. Maybe you just have to live with it for now. We do have young players, but I don't know. I am kind of looking at Desai and Hurt, and I don't really like doing that because I like both those guys. But at the same time, I'm not calling for anyone's head. Tommy Eden, I don't think Russ had a good day, league average at best today. Well, kind of what I'm saying is like, that's the thing. The Russell people are getting super excited about a game where he had like 260 total yards. That's how things are going with him right now. The standards are so low, people start freaking out because he had an average, maybe slightly above average game. Think about the games that Wilson had here a few years ago that would make us freak out. You know, he would have 5 touchdowns. He would have 400 yards. We would have 35 to 40, maybe even 45 points. It would be kind of like the game that Gino had today, where our offense put up 40 plus, and he had Wilson or Gino or whatever had huge numbers. The standards for good play from the Broncos right now is low. 283, do you think we make a move before the deadline or maybe for a linebacker or pass rusher? I would just sign somebody. Maybe you go get Blake Martinez, although I'm not excited about that. Maybe you go get some rando off the street who's maybe a little more engaged than Cody Barton. I don't feel the need to make any kind of a trade here. I just kind of want to lie in the bed that we made. Yeah, but Norton had Bobby and Jamal. We don't have that, and our safeties and linebackers are bad. Yeah, valid point. Find Blake Martinez. He's not old and healthy. I feel like he's so slow now, though. Even though he's not old, he looks slow to me. But so is Cody Barton, so you may as well. It's going to be super cheap. Jacob, defense was horrific. We forgot how to tackle. The tackling wasn't the big problem to me tonight, or not tonight, earlier today. Like it was a problem, but it wasn't the bigger problem. Coverages and people not knowing where to be. Russ versus the Cowboys, 315 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yeah, those are the kinds of games we would freak out on Russ on and talk about how he's the greatest ever. Now Russ has this game where he piles up like 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, scores 23 points. Do you think Fant is even the tight end one? Well, I think he's the tight end one for the role that of being a pass catcher, but Disley actually probably plays a little bit more because he's more versatile. J-Dub Clips, what do you think about maybe signing Sue? No, I don't like Sue. And I don't think he has much left. I'm not interested in that. We can do better. Okay, we've been streaming for about 50 minutes here. We're going to stream until the end of this Sunday night game, I believe. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. We have over 200 people in the stream right now. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. You can become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month and gain access to some channel perks like custom emojis in the chat. And donations help keep the channel going. We do tips. You can click on the link in the description. And we also do super chats. You can click on the $ next to the chat. Those are the best ways to support the channel. We do have goals for all the things I just discussed over to my left. The donation goals are for the stream, and the sub and member goals are for the month, which I need to roll over to October, by the way. Micah Clark, I think our DTs are not very good either. They make a couple plays every now and then, but they're unbelievably inconsistent and barely get pressure. I think we need to draft or sign a consistent defensive tackle who's good. Yeah, did Shelby Harris play today? I actually didn't notice. I think he did play. He must have played, but, like, it could have fooled me. Could have fooled me. ERXP, should we go out and sign a linebacker? Probably. Probably. I think Barton's a lost cause at this point. It is what it is. It doesn't really matter anymore. Like there's no way he's going to end up coming out of this as a good player. Shelby did play, but he did nothing. Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe he's not 100%, but Shelby's the one guy who I think might be able to create some havoc in the middle. Would you want Bradley Chubb next year to replace Darrell Taylor? No. I don't trust Bradley Chubb. Too injury prone, too inconsistent, and he's going to cost some money because he's a pass rusher. No, thank you. Scott Alexander, be nice to see Miles Adams get a shot. He had 10 snaps against the Falcons and sucked, but he needs to play a little bit more. But I don't know for who at this point. Like is he actually better than Quentin Jefferson? Maybe, but I'm not convinced. Lyrical listener, if the 49ers win, everyone in our division will be 2-2. Good luck to the 49ers. No Trent Williams. He makes Homer something, though. Mari Taylor, do you think Cameron Ward will enter the draft next year? If he feels like he's going to get drafted in the first 2 rounds, yes. If not, no. I feel like the Lions would have won if they were 100%. They were missing literally everyone. Well, the thing is, they can't play much better on offense than they did, right? So does it even make a difference? Like, what were they going to do on offense that they didn't do in that game anyway? Should we draft Jalen Carter if he falls? I'm not opposed to it, Liam Breer, but I haven't looked at him a ton specifically, but he's certainly a very good player. Dorian Scarlett, if you had to point to one thing on our defense, what would you say is the worst? The worst thing about our defense right now is honestly the way our linebackers and defensive backs communicate on where they're supposed to be in coverage. Michael, is next year the time where we push for a playoff run? I'm thinking probably yes, but again, it's just going to depend. Like, what if we do decide to roll one more year with Geno? What if we decide to roll one more year with Geno and stack the team otherwise, and just get like if that happens, then I would feel differently. Chef, why do people like Cameron Ward? He literally has 7 picks already. Well, he's really, really raw. And him making a lot of mistakes right now makes sense because last year he was playing at Incarnate Word. He was basically playing at a fake college. What if Penny comes back for cheap? Why would that happen, Silver Ace? The only way that would happen is if he has a bad year. Why would he come back for cheap unless he had a bad year? And if he had a bad year, then why would you want him? Daniel, the Rams have dominated us. I really want to see Geno against the Rams. Russ's style of play was so bad versus the Rams defense. That's actually a really interesting point. Like, Russ legitimately was a big part of the problem against the Rams. That is absolutely a fair statement to make, I think. So I would say it's possible that we are significantly better with Geno, which I wasn't really believing before, but it's not like the Rams defense is looking that good right now anyway. 10 toes down. Running backs don't go for anything, especially him and his injury history. He would be cheap. That's what would have to happen. Geno would have Penny would have to get hurt, but play really well in the few games where he does play. That's kind of what would have to happen. Otherwise, I don't see it. Michael, it seems like our young DBs are getting a lot of soft penalties called on them. It sucks now, but will be worth it in the long run as they establish themselves. I agree, man. I agree. I noticed that. Like, they were calling soft penalties on us, but Detroit's defensive backs were basically just allowed to do whatever the heck they want. I didn't like that. 283, remember when everyone thought Carson was going to get a big contract and then he signed back with us? I didn't think Carson was going to get a big contract. Who thought that? Carson was a dude who had like 800 different injuries in his first 4 years in the league. He was definitely not going to get a huge contract. Penny, at least you can say pretty much all of his problems have stemmed from the one injury. Like, the ACL injury completely derailed his career. Other than that, it's really not been that bad. By the way, Penny's probably been better than Carson. By the way, Penny's not that old yet and doesn't have a ton of miles on him. So, yeah. Young Boy Goat, this channel is better than Hawk Blogger 100%. They're so fair weather and they don't even answer their subscribers' comments. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of Hawk Blogger. Not to my taste. Not to my taste. Tommy Eden, I think the days of huge running back contracts are over unless you're a Henry or someone of that ilk. I think I would expect Penny to get like 10 mil a year. Remember, the cap is going up, people. The cap is going up. The cap is going through the roof. Scooby Snacks, draft a running back. It would be cheaper, no point in paying running backs at all. They usually only have 2 good years in today's NFL. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, yes, Penny is nice, but you could spend 10% of that money on a rookie who will probably not be as good, but is he going to be 10% as good? No, he'll probably be better than that. Micah, crazy though that whenever the Rams have played us over the last couple of years, they haven't played us with our starting running back almost every time, which has affected our run game into being bad versus them. Yeah, there's some validity there. For sure. Why are they calling every underthrow a PI nowadays? Seems like the bad QBs are getting rewarded. I mean, that's kind of what it is. The league wants points, right? The league wants big offensive output, so they change all these rules to make it easier for that to happen. The Reno, I miss Marshawn. Hey, if things keep up with, if things go the way I feel like they're going to go with the Ken Walker thing, you might not be missing him quite as much in a year. Just a thought. Benny Densmore, it feels like the Seahawks are in a weird middle right now. We want to tank, but we also want to win games. Okay, let me talk about this tanking thing, guys. And I'm going to make a video about this tomorrow, but we have players who are on the team now. We have players who are on the team now who affect whether or not we win or lose games by how they play. Why would you want those guys to be bad so you can get maybe a player To get maybe a player who will maybe be good. Worry about the guys who are actually here, who you know are here. Okay? Yes, I want Will Anderson and Will Levis and CJ Stroud too, but let's worry more about the guys who are actually here right now. It's more important those guys are good. Now, I give those people a little bit of extra latitude because it's a quarterback thing. And I understand the quarterback is really important and people want a new quarterback. But there are a lot of quarterbacks in this draft, okay? There are probably going to be 10 viable ones. Okay? Calm down, okay? If you don't get CJ Stroud, you can get Will Levis. If you don't get Will Levis, you can get Hendon Hooker. You can get Anthony Richardson. You can get DJ Ugu. You can get all the way to the 4th or 5th round and get Van Dyke or Michael Penix. You can get Grayson McCall. Touchdown Kansas City, and this game is in the shitter. Wait, did Kansas City miss a field goal at some point? No, okay, never mind. Do you think the defensive issues are due to personnel or scheming? Both. I don't see how it could be one. It's so bad. It has to be both. It just has to be both. Yes, Michael. Right now, I would assume so. Yes, Michael. Dominguez. Michael Dominguez. Henson Hooker is going to be 25 in his rookie year. So what? Who cares? You might only want him for 4 or 5 years on his rookie deal anyway. You might only want to give him the one extension so you don't tie up your salary cap for a decade into a quarterback. And toes down. I don't believe in QBs outside day one. It's so rare. I hate how everyone says, but what about Russ? That was a once-in-a-lifetime pick. Okay, but Russ is not the only example, okay? Brett Favre was a second-round pick. Tom Brady was a sixth-round pick. Matt Hasselbeck was a sixth-round pick. Kirk Cousins was a fourth-round pick. So it's not like Russell's the only example. Dan Campbell's going to look at everything to fix Detroit's broken defense. No such comment from Pete is annoying. Wouldn't expect it after a win, but I was hoping for it last week. I guess it's implied, right? It's got to be implied there, right? You give up 45 points. No, Gino was a second round pick. The Mahomes talk in sports media this week is going to be insufferable again. I like Mahomes, though. I like Mahomes, so I'm not mad about it. Not upset about that one at all. Who has played the best in the secondary this season in your view? It kind of has to be Tariq. It's got to be Tariq. And I know he's had some penalties, but it's got to be Tariq. Let's see. Gino is another QB the Jets ruined. I mean, Gino has some limitations. Let's not pretend like he's Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden. But yeah, the Jets made him look worse than he actually was. I think that's fair. Be right back. We want KC to win, need a team other than Denver to win their division. That's true. But I'm going to say it again. If Javonte Williams is out for the year, first of all, if Javonte Williams is out for the year, do we call up Denver and say we'll give you Rashad Penny for 2 third round picks and see what they do? Like, we already took most of their draft capital, but do we try to go get more? Thoughts on moving Jackson to nickel and starting Kobe outside? I'd like to start Kobe outside, but I don't know if Michael's going to be able to play nickel. Why trade Penny? Because Penny's probably going to be gone next year because he's a free agent. You'd rather have a higher first? Yeah, that's probably true. It's a gamble, right? You're getting more picks, but you might get slightly lesser picks. I'm hoping Trey Brown can play nickel back in the future, but he might also be an outside corner. This is why I was saying. By the way, my one of my favorite nickel corners in this upcoming draft, Phillips on Utah, had 3 interceptions yesterday. I think the nickel corner on Utah, whose name is Phillips the third, 3 interceptions in one game. The Reno, you can get a great replacement running back in the second. Yeah, you can get one in the fourth or fifth. Happens all the time. Denver has Melvin Gordon. They wouldn't trade more than a fifth for anyone. Melvin Gordon is terrible. He's averaging like his production this year is bad, and he's fumbled in 5 straight games. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. Going back to last year, Melvin Gordon has fumbled in 5 straight games. We don't want Gordon Butterfingers. Yeah, exactly. If Denver is actually looking at the rest of this season with Melvin Gordon as their starting running back with nobody else behind him, then they kind of have to do something. Do you try to fleece them for a running back? Like, they're going to be in desperation mode. What if they offer like a second and a third for Rashad Penny? Remember, this is basically what the Broncos did with the Von Miller thing. Von Miller, like the Rams gave up a second and a third for half a season of Von Miller because they were desperate. Desperate teams will absolutely pump a ridiculous amount of resources into something that they shouldn't do. I think it was 6 weeks without Williams in season for Randy Gregory. I don't know where you saw that, the Shadows Within. I haven't heard anything like that. And I'm pretty sure Williams is the guy who could be out a while, and Randy Gregory's probably okay. So that's not consistent with what I've heard. But Randy Gregory's a big deal too, of course. He's their best player on defense, probably. Unless you want to say Sertan. That's the way you need to be operating your football team sometimes, right? Like look for opportunities to take advantage. Chase Stern, please don't tell me you actually believe it's not Shane Waldron. What do you mean, Chase? What do you mean? Bradley Chubb? No, I think Randy Gregory's better than Bradley Chubb. Randy Gregory's a great all-around player. Chubb is more of just a pass rusher. Williams left on crutches. Yeah, I saw that Shadows Within. So I expect him to miss time, but I don't particularly expect Randy Gregory to miss a lot of time. If he does, it's over. If Randy Gregory's out for the year and Williams is out for the year, they're probably like a 6-win team. And remember, guys, they probably have the worst coach in the league. Didn't the Broncos trade for Gregory? No, they signed him out of free agency. Someone said Pete is now. Oh, I see what you're saying, Chase. I see what you're saying. Wrestle Mark Q, thank you for the basic membership join. Welcome aboard to the membership club. Impact Fitness NJ, thank you for the $1.99. Ryan Neal played better than Jones did today. I noticed Neal a little bit. He made a couple of decent plays. Ryan Neal probably deserves to play a little bit at this point. Like, why not? Well, what's the harm? I'm not a huge Ryan Neal fan as a safety. I like him better as a corner. But at this point, you can't get much worse. Jeremiah O'Brien, do you think Geno performs like this for the rest of the year? No. He's going to be fine, but I don't think he's going to play like this. If Geno plays like this for the rest of the year, he's probably going to win league MVP. There's just no way that happens. You and Hawks Nest streamed the Broncos game since. No. No, I'm actually trying to move the Thursday streams off of the TNF slot because me and him have noticed that when we stream during Thursday Night Football, nobody shows up, and then everybody suddenly floods in there the moment the game's over. So we're gonna starting the streams at 8, so we barely overlap with the game. Would you pay Gino 50 million for 3 years if he continues playing this well? No, pass, pass. I'm not down with it. Impact Fitness NJ, thank you for the 4.99. I did see Mafe on more first and second downs and Taylor on third downs. I did too, and it makes all the sense in the world. Makes a lot of sense why you would do that. So I'm happy to see it. It makes sense. Lazy, thank you for the $1.99. Imagine if we get 2 top 10 picks. I look, right now you got to say it's possible. Right now, you got to look at it and say it's very possible. What's the best contract you could give Gino? I would only give him a 1-year deal. I don't want to marry myself to Gino long term. Maybe a 2-year deal with an easy out, but I'm not looking to commit to Gino for a long time. I'm looking to have the opportunity to have Gino for a little bit here, and if we don't immediately find the next rookie quarterback, then that's unfortunate. But I don't want to be married to Gino long term because I don't believe he's good enough to win a Super Bowl. Do you think a rookie QB could learn anything under Gino? Sure, sure. Jeremiah O'Brien, how do you feel about Kobe Bryant? I like him a lot, but I don't think he's a good nickel corner, and I think right now his abilities are being wasted. 2 years for 20 million guaranteed probably gets it just fine with Gino. Not if he keeps playing around this level. If he falls off and starts having some bad games, like the same old Gino. If he starts playing like that, then it could be like that. But if he plays like this, maybe not. Like, look, to me, the main lesson you need to take away from this Geno stuff is that if you have some common sense, it's not hard to play good quarterback in the NFL. Like, look at Cooper Rush. And I'm not saying Cooper Rush is playing anywhere near as good as Geno, but Cooper Rush is playing competent football. And who the hell is Cooper Rush? All you have to do is keep things simple. Don't do crazy stuff, and just stay on schedule. You can be a competent quarterback in the modern NFL because it's so easy to play quarterback compared to how it used to be. So I don't think that I don't think the lesson here needs to be Gino is as good as Aaron Rodgers. I think the lesson needs to be more along the lines of, hey, you get an intelligent quarterback who knows their role and keeps their mouth shut. You can have a lot of success. Russ couldn't do it. Russ just couldn't do it. Russ was not capable of doing the things that he needed to do to keep things simple. And that's why he's not here right now, I think, in large part. So the goal should be to get another guy who can be smart like Gino, but have a little more talent. Do you think releasing Marquise Blair was a bad idea after having to replace Adams with Jones? Well, we could go get Blair right now if we wanted to, but I don't think Pete likes Blair, and I don't think Blair likes Pete. So I don't think it's happening. Who would have thought the Seahawks and Lions would have a 93 total points game? I mean, it's a testament to how bad the defenses are. Man, Brady should have retired. Brady really should have retired. I get the feeling that Russ is more concerned with his own individual stats and brand than looking out for the best interest of the team. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly how I would put it, but I don't think the way he plays is necessarily conducive to winning in a weird way anymore. Like it's just not conducive to what you need to do to win games anymore sometimes to put up all these gaudy stats and go for these big plays that sometimes seriously busting big plays is not really good for your team because it puts your defense out there too quick. You sometimes you really would rather have a Geno Smith going down the field 8 yards at a time. I wouldn't mind seeing Kobe at free safety. Has he done that before? It's not a bad idea, but I'd like to see. I'd like to see. I'd like to see it, but I don't want to see it if it's going to end in a disaster. I don't see how Russ gets MVP this year with a slow start. Oh, we can't even have the MVP conversation right now. Actually, hold on. Through 4 games, who is league MVP? Through 4 games, who is the NFL MVP? Is it Jalen Hurts? Is it unironically Jalen Hurts? Hurts' numbers are not great, but his team is undefeated. He does have 4 rushing touchdowns. Could be Lamar, but Lamar's team, Lamar kind of blew the game today, right? I mean, I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but he kind of blew the game today, and they're only 2-2. Mahomes could be Mahomes. Could be Mahomes. Josh Allen, maybe. Mahomes makes some sense. I could buy that. Herbert's not going to win MVP. That team will be lucky to make the playoffs with all their injuries. There's no way in hell. Skip Bayless is on Twitter right now screaming about the Des Bryant playoff game. Good lord. Could be Tyreek Hill. You know that's not going to happen. Hey, Donnie Pearson, how you doing tonight? Mass Temple All Pro Lucas? Maybe. I mean, let's dream big while we're here. Saquon Barkley MVP. That may be. There might be something there. That's not ridiculous. That's not completely ridiculous. Oh, yeah, I hope people are starting to figure that out, by the way. I really hope people are starting to figure it out. Okay? It, Russ makes offensive lines look worse than they are. You think Tariq Stan at least makes the all rookie team? Yeah, I do. I do. He's going to have big interception numbers that are going to get people's attention if this keeps up. Like, he might lead all rookies in interceptions. He's already got 2, and he's not even in his final form. I was dying when they ran Wildcats since they had no quarterbacks left. Who? Who did that? The Giants? Asked Dwayne Brown how he feels about Russ. Yeah, the Giants ran out of quarterbacks. I didn't know. I didn't notice that. That's great. Does Tariq have more picks than Stingley and Sauce? Do those guys even have any interceptions? I don't think those guys have any interceptions. No, Stingley doesn't. And yeah, Sauce doesn't either. Yeah, I love Devin Lloyd in the draft. I'll say that. EJ Reed's playing really good for the Jets. I did see that. Jones got injured, then Tyrod got killed, and refs took him out the game, so they had Barkley at quarterback. So they only had two quarterbacks. And they still won. Nick Chubb is a dark horse MVP. The Browns need to be a little bit better, though. They're 2-2. That's not going to cut it. When Trey Brown and Artie Burns get back at nickel, should we play Neal, Diggs, Jones at safety at the same time? I don't think so. I don't feel the need to force Jones out there right now. He's not doing anything good. Are you over Barton, or do you think he still gets a chance to prove himself? Oh, Barton's done. Barton's done. Get him out of here. Barton is 6 feet under. Andrex A, thank you for the $1.99. Could Woolen win Defensive Rookie of the Year? No. No. There are going to be some linebackers that have over 100 tackles, like Devin Lloyd probably. There's going to be some very prolific defensive linemen who put up, significant sack and pressure numbers like Aiden Hutchinson and Thibodeau and guys like that. No way. No way he wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. It's too much. Oh, yeah, and Travon Walker actually is another one. Travon Walker, I don't know how he's doing so far, but he's somebody who's going to get a lot of attention. If he even has like 7 sacks, people are going to start orgasming over it. You think the Seahawks have the coolest uniform in the NFL? I am fond of it. Who was the last non-quarterback to win MVP? Adrian Peterson, right? Yeah. Yeah, Shelby played in this game, but he didn't do anything. Yeah, Barton, he's just not good enough. And the problem is you spent a third round pick on him. He doesn't even look like he should have been drafted, and you spent a third round pick on him. That's not good. But it is what it is. We're moving on now. Whoa, Mahomes got rocked. Actually, he did a pretty good job not getting rocked. Drop Top Twitch stream tonight? I think so, yeah. Drop Top. I'm probably doing Assassin's Creed tonight. BBK better than Barton? Yeah, it's too bad about BBK. I wouldn't have minded seeing him play some defense, but his body's all messed up now. Green 80, it looked like Shelby tweaked something out there. Curious to see the injury report. Is this how it's going to be? That would be unfortunate. Where's Tyreek Smith? He's on IR. He's not going to play this year, I don't think. Mahomes rolls out. He's looking. He's running. There's no way that dude is the same foot speed as Peyton Manning. There's just no way. If Geno keeps up this pace, what kind of money do you think he'll be worth slash demand? That's what I'm saying. It's probably going to be like 3 years, 60 million. And I'm just not that interested in paying a quarterback that unless he's like, if you're going to pay a quarterback significant money, go all the way. Don't give me somebody like Geno who's pretty good, but not going to be a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. Just go cheap at that point. And when I say cheap, I mean like rookie contract cheap. That's my that's the consideration I'm making at this point. Oh, Mahomes, what a friggin' throw. Was Gabe Jackson as atrocious this game as he had been? I don't think so. I thought the offensive line in general actually played pretty well. Obviously, it was a little bit. Obviously, it was a little bit not as good when we were trying to run the ball up the middle versus when we were running to the outside, but I didn't think it was terrible. I know it's pretty early, but what is your Super Bowl team prediction? Uh, uh, Nate Smokes, welcome to the channel, by the way. Um, Bills, and I kind of feel like the Rams are going to be there too. The NFC's bad. I think the Rams get back. I'm not thrilled about it. The Eagles might be our only hope to avoid a um, Rams NFC repeat. Thing is, Lions only really have one really good pass rusher, so it's hard to say how really well Gabe played. That didn't stop him from playing bad before, Tommy. Like I'll take any level of competency against any opponent. Eugenio, who do you have winning tomorrow? Rams. 49ers have problems. Trent Williams is out. Vikings? I don't know, Green Earth. I don't think the Vikings are that good. I'm not feeling it. Mahomes and Allen are the front runners for MVP. It checks out to me, AZ Hawk. Makes sense. I don't know about the Rams. Stafford's arm is shot and it's only week 4. Is his arm shot, or did he just need some time to get into the rhythm? Because it seems like he's playing a little better now. He doesn't look completely just inept out there. Packers? JJE, I don't really believe in the Packers. Their receivers don't know what they're doing on most plays. It's a mess. I don't know. Bills versus Chiefs is always a pick'em game for the AFC title game. True. True. No Tyreek Hill, though. Did Kyle Pitts do anything today, by the way? Giants could be good. I don't buy it, Tommy. I don't buy it, especially with the injuries now. Is Daniel Jones okay, by the way? I actually want Daniel Jones to be good. I like Daniel Jones. He seems like a cool dude. Wow. So I built my fantasy team around Kyle Pitts. I feel like this is a good place to point that out. We need to draft 2 interior offensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 defensive linemen, 1 safety, 1 quarterback. Um, I'm not against trying to draft another edge, Bruce. Don't forget edge. Are you still on the replace Jason Myers train after the major shanky shank? That wasn't his fault, Shadow Within. Myers has been fine this year, honestly. Myers has actually been pretty good. The shank was on Tinker. That was a bad snap. Do you think we are letting Sean Desai and Clint work out who takes the role of primary play caller? No, I think Clint Hurt is the play caller, and I think Desai works on in-week strategy. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty well determined, and right now it's not working terribly well. Can we talk about our players consistently set career best / franchise records versus our defense, Hawkinson and Cordarrelle? Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I think we're all pretty well aware of that. It's happening right in front of our faces. What do you think of playing 2 free safety ball Hawks with Adams? Not sure what you mean, Nate Smokes. I mean, at this point, Adams is so far away from being back on this team, I'm not even really thinking about it. Andrex A, thank you for the $1.99. How would you try to solve our horrible deed this year? Um, Add some stunts to the defensive line. Hope that the time that these guys spend together allows them to develop some camaraderie and understanding of where people are going to be in the coverages. I just want to wake up and see we traded for Roquan for absolutely nothing. I guess it's possible, but would he by himself fix this defense? This defense has many layers of problems. I think we need a pissed off Chris Richard running our pass defense. Chris Richard was pretty good, man. He kind of got a raw dog deal, if we're being honest. He's done some fairly decent things in the NFL. Baller Prod, thoughts on DK today? He played great. What else can you say? He's starting to make contested catches now, by the way. There have been some people who have said, like, oh, DK has bad hands. He never makes any tough catches. He's making tough catches now. He's actually making contested catches where he has to go outside of his body, where the ball isn't thrown perfectly, and he brings it in anyway, which is awesome. 2 free safety, 1 strong safety. Yeah, that I don't mind. But Jamal's not going to be back for a while, so I'm not even really thinking about that. You think Kenny Norton would have done better? I think anybody would have done better than what we had today. 45 points to the Lions. And I know 9 of those points were the fault of special teams, but still. Brian Tran, I enjoyed seeing the Broncos lose today. Yeah, it helps. It helps. That was a significant game. That was a significant swivel point for their season. And to me, especially with these injuries, if they're serious, I think they're actually probably going to be a sub-500 team now. I think they're kind of bad. Thoughts on drafting Voorhees and moving Lewis back to right guard? I don't know a ton about Voorhees, but I do like the idea of getting a left guard and moving Lewis back to right. He is going to be here next year almost certainly, so you may as well figure out a way to make it work. We will see Chris Richard next week. He's coaching the Saints secondary. Ah, okay. Oh, Chris Godwin's in the game. Why is he in the game? They're down 3 scores with 11 minutes left. This is extremely risky for no upshot. Do we think the D should just sell out on one phase? Be stout against the run or tough to pass against, being shitty at both sucks? Well, it's not that simple, right? Like, it seems to me that Jordan Brooks just doesn't really understand how to cover. Hawks Nest did a video yesterday for talking about how Jordan Brooks doesn't seem to understand how to technique on coverage, and you get the result that you get. And at this point, I'm inclined to believe you're just not going to be able to teach him that. So it's not as easy as it sounds unless you want to bench Jordan Brooks, which, no, I don't want to bench Jordan Brooks. We got to ride or die. Mason Dahl, who would have thought we'd have the same record as the Bucks a month into the season? I don't think thinking we were going to start 2-2 was beyond the pale. I don't think that was unreasonable. Like 2-2 against this opening schedule was not unreasonable. I thought it was probably going to be something like that personally. I just didn't pick the path right. I thought we were going to lose the first 2, win the next 2, excuse me. Shane Waldron was calling a beautiful game. Yeah, he was. There's some creativity in this playbook that I'm liking right now. And hopefully we learned something from this game when we had so much success running the ball, not just up a gap over and over and over again. I saw some very successful runs where we didn't just run up a gap. Hopefully we keep that up. Barry Soitoro, when are they going to unleash Miles Adams? Doesn't seem like they have a ton of belief in him. Doesn't seem like they think that much of him because they're sure eager to deactivate him every week. Half hawk, half man. Did Schneider screw up by not pursuing Roquan Smith hard enough? No. It's subjective. I like Roquan Smith, but I also don't like paying Roquan Smith. So there's positives and negatives. Able to see how the offense was supposed to work when you play a team with no defense. That's true. Well, guys, here's the thing. Wilson and Bryce are both small, but Bryce Young isn't as thick. He's only like 5'10", but he's got some real girth to him, okay? That allows him to get hit and not get hurt all the time. Okay, you look at a guy like Bryce Young, what does he weigh, 200 pounds? He gets hit, he's going to get hurt. Wilson can get hit because he's like 225, 230. It's different, okay? Just because they're about the same height and Bryce is actually a little bit taller doesn't is not the only consideration. I feel like if Russ was still our QB, we could be 4-0. Are you kidding me? Have you been watching Russ play football? If we had Russ as our quarterback, we'd be 0-4. I'm not even kidding, guys. The way we've seen Russell Wilson play in Denver so far, if you had Wilson instead of Geno, we would be 0-4. And it wouldn't totally be his fault because our defense is really bad. But I don't know how that's even arguable. We would be 0-4 with Wilson. Geno completely bailed us out today by playing brilliantly. And that first game, honestly, we mostly rode what Geno's heroics in that first half, too. So, sorry. I don't see it at all. And yeah, if you have Russ, there's no Cross, there's no Mafe, there might be no Ken Walker. We might have Nick Bonito, who hasn't. By the way, apparently Nick Bonito hasn't done anything for Denver yet, so that's not working well for them. I think Russ misses Seattle now. Yeah, he literally has a worse coach. He has probably now a worse running game. The only thing he has there that he doesn't have here is a defense, which can bail him out sometimes. But honestly, his receivers and his running backs and his offensive line are not any better. His head coach is dumber somehow, which is hard to do. Top top Arby's or Five Guys. Oh, you can't beat Five Guys as far as fast food goes. Five Guys is cut different. How was Penny busting those huge runs today? I didn't see who on our offensive line paved the way the most. I'm not sure either. That's a good question, half hawk, half man. I'll have to look into that. Brendan, you're the DC for Seattle. What changes do you make? Um, I get rid of the wide nine unless it's like third and long. I bench Josh Jones. I bench Cody Barton, and I go from there and I see what happens. Yeah, Daniel. I've had Dick's a couple times. I don't. It's good, but the servings are so small. It's like not even a meal. It's a snack. Like I eat at Dick's, and I'm like, this is not good enough. This is not enough food. Baller Prod Broncos are getting only 5 wins if they are without Randy and Javante. Yeah. So you would play Belore over Barton? No. I would try to get somebody else, or I would play like Radigan. I would play Tanner Muse. I would do something that isn't Belore, but I would do something that also is not Barton. A. Indrix A. Why do we keep playing soft zone? I mean, there is something intrinsic in the Carroll defense to not want to give up big plays, and it's understandable, but man. Nate Smokes, what if Young redshirts to get his weight up with an NFL diet? Then he loses his speed and agility. Like his current level of speed and agility that makes him appealing is based off his current weight. That's why Wilson was an appealing prospect. He was thick, but he could still move with speed and agility. If Bryce Young adds 30 pounds, he's going to lose the speed and agility that he has. It's different. It's not, this isn't Madden, okay? You can't just hit the weight slider and make somebody weigh like 30 pounds. Which of the next two teams we're facing do you think we have a better chance of beating? Saints or Cards? Probably Cardinals. I don't think they're very good. And the Saints are going to be desperate. Yeah, I'm going to say we have a better chance of beating the Cardinals. Remember, it's in the Superdome. The Saints usually don't lose in the Superdome. What if he runs with weight like Wilson to get his speed up? This is a lot of work for a guy when you don't even need it. Just go get a guy who's already ready. Like, you're going to say, like, okay, you're going to get this guy. He's going to add 30 pounds in weight, but train so he doesn't lose any speed. Like, he's going to be 80 years old before you actually play him. Why are we going through all this for Bryce Young? This doesn't make any sense. Do you think we can finish better in the division than the Cardinals? No. I'm going to say no. I think they get it together a little bit. Who's your least favorite player on each side of the ball? It's got to be Josh Jones. No, it's got to be Cody Barton and I guess Eskridge. Maybe Gabe Jackson. Something like that. I don't know. Lamar gained like 20, 25 pounds this offseason, but he's still same quickness and agility. I don't know. He's definitely not the same quickness and agility. It was a good trade-off, but I don't think he's the same. Imagine if Wilson got traded to Washington. Well, he was smart enough to avoid that, but he was not smart enough to avoid what's-his-face, Nathaniel Hackett. Pete Carroll's looking pretty good right now compared to Nathaniel Hackett. That dude... I mean, today, did Hackett do anything over the top terrible today? Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't terrible, but I mean, they're not scoring. They are averaging 16 points a game. Did you see Richard and KJ discussing the player's relationship with Russ and the special treatment he got from Pete? Little bit. Little bit. I don't really care about that stuff anymore, Charisma. I don't know. Especially listening to it from those guys. Like, they're not going to be reliable reporters right now. Maybe KJ, but definitely not Sherman. Sherman is not capable of being objective when it comes to Wilson. He just hates him. Do you think a team like Dallas could realistically offer the Hawks something for Geno? No. No, and I don't think we would really take it anyway. What did you think of Sydney snaps compared to Kobe's and Mike's and the performance of Kobe, Tariq, Sydney? Kobe and Tariq were fine. Sydney, I didn't like that much. Oh, yeah, the timeout. That was an interesting one, yeah. Lamar Jackson was 200 pounds in college. Okay, well, Lamar is probably better than Bryce Young. And, by the way, Lamar has not played a full season, is an injury risk. So that also kind of proves the point. Like, Lamar Jackson has gotten injured a decent amount already in his career. I don't think he's played a full season yet. So that's kind of the point. But I look at Bryce Young and I don't see I don't see the assets that make it worth it to take a chance on a guy like Lamar. Did Mike Jackson give up many yards? I'm not sure, Eugenio. I'm going to have to take a look at it later. Tariq the Wool blanket coverage. That's too long, Dax Swag. I think that's a little too long. Voodoo, would you prefer Seattle Mariners to play in Cleveland or Toronto, or to rest our stars in hope of having Tampa getting the 5th seed so Ems can play the Guardians? I think it's pretty random, Voodoo. I think it's random. I'm not worried that much about it. I guess I would rather play Cleveland, but I'm not. Like, all those teams are capable of doing some really good stuff and some really bad stuff. Yeah, I know Lamar didn't get hurt the year he won MVP 10 toes down, but he didn't play the full season, was my point. He still didn't play the full year. He missed a game, and the last 2 years he's missed quite a few games. Okay, so there's like 6 minutes left in this game. I mean, it's over. But when this game wraps, I'm going to go ahead and jump off stream. But we have been streaming for about an hour and 45 minutes. So I want to thank the 240 people who are here right now tonight. Please like the stream if you haven't already. We're up to 85 likes, and there are 230-something people in here. So if you haven't already, please like the stream. Subscribe if you're new and you want daily Seahawks content. You can become a channel member for $2 or $5 a month. And we have donation goals for the stream. We are about 62% of the way to our super chat goal. We haven't had a tip yet tonight, but those are the best ways to support the channel if you like what you see. Did Russ even turn down that trade? Maybe Seahawks turned it down. It's been said that Wilson turned the Washington trade down. I guess we don't know if it's true or not, but that's what's been said. Eugenio, how much do you think not having a bye after the London game will affect the Saints? It could be significant, but we're in the Superdome. I mean, it's hard to win in the Superdome. I'm not convinced that's going to be a game changer. Has the Hawks Nest stream for 9 hours straight? I don't know. I haven't done that in a while. I kind of did it during free agency, but it's hard. RP Gaming, do you think we should trade Sidney Jones? If someone's willing to give up something for it, yes. We're not playing him very much, and we probably shouldn't. We don't need to be playing him a lot right now. There's no value to it. Barry Soitoro, thank you for the $20 super chat. All right, that gets us to the super chat goal for the stream. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it. Do we spend big money on free agents this next offseason or wait for the new QB to be in his second year? I want to wait for the QB to be in his second year. The only big free agent I would be willing to sign next year would be somebody like Elgton Jenkins. Somebody like that. If you want to completely just beast out your offensive line, I would do that. Everything's 12 to Rama. How was Kobe? Kobe played all right. Nothing over the top, but it seemed okay to me. Brendan, do you think Chancellor is getting in the Hall of Fame? He has no chance at the Hall of Fame. Chancellor has no chance at the Hall of Fame. He never even made an All-Pro team. For him to make the Hall of Fame, it would be like, you may as well start putting like God. You may as well put KJ Wright in the Hall of Fame almost. It's not that far off. Sorry. It's ironic that one preseason prediction was Dixon would lead the league in punts, and today he was the first Seahawk to have 0 punts. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's surprising. And I'm here for it, though. I'm here for it. 100%. Touchdown Tampa. For whatever good it's going to do, which is not at all. Yeah, Kobe caused the fumble. Otherwise, I don't think he played great or anything. But he almost got hosed on a garbage PI call that luckily got picked up. That would have infuriated me. Yeah, Lockett needs to stop returning kicks. That's getting silly. If you get Levis, would you want to go all in since he's pro ready? Well, just because he's pro ready doesn't mean he'll be Super Bowl ready. I wouldn't hate taking a year to settle him in before you bring in the big guns. I'm looking at the interception from Tariq Woolen, and it's just like, I feel like anyone else in the world doesn't get that interception. It's just a matter of his speed. It's just pure speed. Is our OL meeting your preseason expectations so far? It's been better than I expected. I was ready for the rookies to make a lot of mistakes on the edges, but they're not. They're not at all. I mean, they're making mistakes, but they're not things that are completely ruining our chances of winning. Saw Jared Goff post fantasy blurb today, and they described that INT is terrible. I don't think so. I think he just wasn't prepared for how good um, Woolen was gonna cover ground. Jarhead still streaming content. Go, yeah, just for a few more minutes until the end of the Sunday night game. Then I'm getting out of here. If Mark Sanchez can make an AFC Championship game in his rookie year, anyone can. Oh, sure, it happens, but you have to try to play the odds a little bit here. And like I said, I wouldn't mind getting another guard or maybe a defensive lineman, but you got to plan this stuff out just right. Like, the Seahawks didn't bring in Michael Bennett and Cliff Averill until they were certain they had a good foundation. They didn't bring in Percy Harvin until they were sure they had a good foundation. Those things had to happen first. Why was Ryan Neal and Sidney Jones playing today? Because we got to try to do something. We got to try to do something to make this not atrocious. Should we sign Roquan Smith in free agency if he's there? I'm a little hesitant to give massive money to a linebacker, but if we're not going to pay Jordan Brooks, then I guess we can do it. And at this point, I don't know about Jordan Brooks. Like, the dude is not leaving a positive impact on these games right now, really. How do we fix the run defense, Rajho? I would just start by running more 3-man and 4-man fronts. These 2-man fronts are bizarre. I don't understand it. That's to me the main thing you can fix like immediately. The rest of the stuff is just about your run fits and your communication on D and people knowing where they need to be, and that's not happening right now. Speaking of Percy Harvin, I feel like D. Eskridge is Percy reincarnate, never to be seen playing in a game. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it anymore. It feels like it's not just injuries. He's in the doghouse. Like the team genuinely doesn't want to let him play because they don't trust him or something. Who would you ascend from the practice squad right now, if anyone? Is Tanner Mew still there? If not, then Vi Jones, I guess. Something like that. Ugh. 283 thoughts on the Kraken's mascot. I don't really care that much. It's whatever. It's kind of dumb, but whatever. Dak Swag, you think Padres will go far in the playoffs? Probably not, but I don't follow the NL that closely. If the Lions had a Monroe, Swift, and Shark, do you think we would have won? I guess because they couldn't have done much better on offense than they did. Like if the Lions had those guys, how could they have done better? Would they have scored 80 points? Would they have scored 90 points? There is a law of diminishing returns. Gino's going to shit the bed in New Orleans. I feel it. It's possible. Look, it's the Superdome. A lot of quarterbacks would have an issue in there. So even if it happens, I'm not going to be terribly mad about it, guys. Even great quarterbacks can have problems. So if it happens, I'm not shocked. I like our chances versus Saints for some reason. I will say the Saints don't look as good as I thought they would be. The Saints don't look as good as I thought they would be, but I still think they would probably find a way to win this game. Tyler Sperry, do you think Jonathan Taylor will play Thursday? There's no way he plays. He's got a high ankle sprain. He might not play for a month. If it's a high ankle sprain, it could keep him out for quite some time. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Who will guard DK NO? It's probably Marshawn Lattimore, right? The ATL loss stings more now that we won this game. Eh, I guess. I guess. Jeff Speak, thank you for the $10 super chat. I didn't watch the game, but Gino is doing amazing. I'm thinking we shouldn't even get a QB. Spend draft picks on defense. Love you, Brendan. Hope you're doing well. Um, I think that's. I just don't want to take this stuff too far. He is playing well. He is doing effectively. He is doing his job. But is he a quarterback you can go to a Super Bowl with? I doubt it. Not enough arm talent. Not enough all around ability. So let's see where we are at the end of the year. Right now, yeah, Gino's kind of on top of the world, but the Saints have a pretty good defense. It's in the Superdome. If he has a bad game there, are you going to feel differently? I feel like most people will, even though it's just one game. Hill might run for 100 on Seattle. Yeah. Saints made Gino look bad last year. Yeah, they had a good defense last year. I mean, they made Brady look bad too. They don't look as good this year, but it is in the Superdome still. Mythic Beast YT, what do you think of K9? Yeah, K9, I think he's going to be good. I like him. Hasn't had great opportunities yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Which college QB impresses you so far? I like Levis. I like Hendon Hooker. One second, guys. First down, Kansas City. And they're just going to need the clock out now. Oh, flag. Never mind. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Winston. I think Winston's hurt. So Tampa's going to get the ball back here, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, maybe Javon Turner. But usually we don't blow those games, admittedly, right? Like it's not like it's a common occurrence where we have that game that we should easily win and then we actually lose. It's just sometimes we mess around longer than we need to. I don't know what happened to Jameis, but he is hurt. He didn't play today. Yep. Here we go. Tampa's going to get the ball here. All right. Well, obviously things are starting to wind down now. I mean, go look at the contract that Jameis Winston got this offseason. That may be a. Gino's probably going to get more than that because the cap is going up, right? Jameis Winston got what? Like 2 years. What was it? 2 years, 30? I can't remember. Gino's probably going to get a little more than that, but it's the same kind of thing. I like how every bad team is using Sean Payton as their magic bullet. Like every team that is disappointing so far this year, like you look at the on Twitter, you look at the fans, da da da. It's like hire Sean Payton, hire Sean. Just Sean Payton is enjoying his break from the NFL, guys. It's kind of goofy. It's how many Sean Paytons do you think there are? By the way, there's like only one. Like there aren't 800 of them. Early indication on Javonte Williams' injury is it doesn't look good. So yeah, I think he's done for the year. It would be a shock at this point if he plays again this year. So I think you can stick a fork in Denver. Well, Ray baby, he doesn't need to because the first read is usually solid. That's why he has a high completion percentage. That's why this offense has a high success rate. Even if that is true, who cares? Worst team in the NFL? It might be the Steelers. I think the Steelers might be the worst team in the NFL, although it's a little better now that they don't have Mitchell Trubisky, right? At least there's some excitement and hope. All right, that'll do it for the game, guys. Chiefs win 41-31. A lot of points. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We hit our donation goal. We added some subs, added some members. Thank you, everybody. We had a successful stream. We had a successful game today. Seahawks win. And I'll have more to say about all this tomorrow. I will be on Twitch later tonight. Probably doing Assassin's Creed. Just give me some time to take care of some stuff. I will talk to you guys soon. Go Hawks. Oh, here we go. Jeff Speak, thank you for the $5. The last thing I will say is that Gino is actually helping the development of our offensive line. Our interior guards and center need help. Yeah, yeah. The thing is, like Blythe and Gabe Jackson are not going to be here next year, so I don't know how much that helps. But anyway.